Welcome to our Food for Thought segment. Good morning for sports betting picks. This is going to be for college basketball. For the 12 o'clock games, we have a few 12 o'clock college basketball games that we're going to go over. And the NFL games, Denver at Buffalo. We're going to go over that game. The rest of the stuff this afternoon, the NBA and the hockey, we'll do that this afternoon. So this morning we're going to be doing what I mentioned to you earlier. So we're going to start off with the college basketball game. College basketball, we're going to look at Nebraska at Purdue. Nebraska is 8.5-point favorites. The total is 140. And right now we are seeing it hasn't really moved much. It's about 8. So we'll say the number's at 8. We are seeing 7.5s actually. So just at one book only, 7.5. But it's mainly 8. But like I said, it might go to 7.5. The total's still staying at 140.5. That's the interesting thing. It's 140, but it gone up by half a point to 140.5 right now. So look into this game further. Let's see. Nebraska at Purdue. So Purdue is ranked number 20th in the country. They're at home against Nebraska. Head-to-head, 7-3. Purdue has dominated the series. However, 6-4 against the spread. Nebraska has covered. The over/under in this series, 5-5. The over/under. Nebraska against other competition, 8-2 last 10. 7-3 against the spread. 4-6 to the under. Purdue last 10, 7-3. Last 10, 5-5 against the spread. 6-4 to the over. So Purdue has won 4 straight games. They've covered 4 straight games. 2 of the 4 wins. They've won 4 straight games. They've covered 3 out of the 4 games. They've covered 3 out of the 4 games. They've covered 2 on the road at Minnesota, at Rutgers. They covered a game against Northwestern. And they've been pretty good. They've gone to the over for over-unders. They've gone over 6-4. During the 4-game winning streak, they were 2-2 for the over-under. Nebraska, meanwhile, they had won 6 straight games, but they had played low-fruit competition, bottom-feeder competition, until he ran into Iowa, and Iowa beat them by 10 points. They have gone under the total. In their last 5, they've gone 2-3 to the under. So, looking at this here, let's look at this one further. We'll look at this in greater detail. Let's see here, Nebraska at Purdue. So right now, it's a tough venue to play in Purdue. So I would say right now, Nebraska does have the edge in toughness. They're more athletic and physical against Purdue. And Purdue's weakness has been in ball screens this year. However, I gotta say, Purdue, they're very good at rebounding team. They're very good in the rebounding team. That's where they have the edge over Nebraska. And the thing about Nebraska, their weakness is they're 358th nationally defending the 3-point shot. So Purdue's a very good 3-point shooting team. So they'll have all other opportunities to exploit and expose Nebraska. Besides their size, over Nebraska. Their three-point shooting will be a weapon against Nebraska that they can use to beat them. And their offense, they rank 91st percentile for points per game, per possession, and per game. So although Nebraska, they're more athletic and they have a physical edge, Purdue can beat you from the from size, inside, outside with size, and they can beat you on the three-point shooting. Those are the two key elements, and they put up a lot of points. They're 91st in scoring, so they have a lot of firepower which can basically overcome Nebraska's physical play. So I do like Purdue to cover the points. It's at 8. I'm seeing 7.5. So I'll take Purdue to cover the points at 7.5. I like Purdue a lot here. Aside from the total in this game, no comment on the total. I have no opinion on the total. That's a pass for me. But Nebraska versus Purdue, I like Purdue 7.5. Let me see what else I can get here on this game. Let's see. See what else they have here. Let me see if I see any first half information here. I know there's a lot of first half bettors like myself and others out there. We'll see what there is. So this game here, I would leave that alone. I would just say Purdue to cover the spread 7.5. That's all I'm going to see on that game. That's it for that game. So we're going to go to the next game. That's at 12 o'clock. So we got the Purdue one out of the way, 7.5. I like Purdue. Michigan State versus Northwestern. This one's at Northwestern. Michigan State opened up at a 2.5 point favorite. Total 138.5. Right now we're seeing twos. We're seeing -2s and even 1.5s on the board. So that's Purdue at Michigan. Michigan State. Sorry about that. Michigan State at Northwestern. Sorry about that. Yes. Michigan State's ranked number 16th in the country. Head-to-head series, 6-4. Michigan is leading 3-7 against the spread. Northwestern. This is in the last 10 games, and 4-5-1 to the under in the last 10 games. Okay, so let's see here. Michigan State, 9-1 in the last 10, 8-2 against the spread, 3-7 to the under. These in the last 10 games. Now Michigan, they have won 8 straight games. They've won 8 games in a row, and out of the 8 games, they have covered 3. They've covered 4 games. They've covered the spread, or they have when laying points. They have covered 4 times out of the in that 8-game winning streak. So Michigan's red hot right now. They're red hot. They were favored on the road. They won in Minnesota, and they have played very well. And they've done it with defense. They were under 4 straight games. So it's all about defense with these two teams. So yes, they've done it with defense. Northwestern 6-4 last 10, 7-3 against the spread. 6-4 to the over. Northwestern had won 4 games in a row, but they've lost their last 2 on the road. At Penn State, at Purdue. Now they are at home. And they have gone over in 4 straight games. But when they play Michigan State, it's a different story. Michigan State likes to grind you out and play defense. That's their MO. That's Tom Izzo's MO, defense. So we're looking to this game further. I'll give you a pick on this in a moment. I'll give you my opinion. That game is at 12 o'clock, of course. As we look into this game further. And Michigan State have owned the rims at both ends. So this is college basketball's best painted oriented defense. There are 40 points per game, 96 percentile in paint oriented defenses. They're allowing 27 points per game, 84th percentile. Northwestern, they run a super passive, uber compact defense. It's an elite defense as well. Wildcats do have a chance to slow down Michigan. They can slow them down a little bit and force jump shots. So with that said, with Northwestern at home being able to slow them down offensively. With that being said, and with it being hard and difficult for Northwestern to score on Michigan State, therefore, I like the under. I like the under in this game a lot. Under, let's see, let's go back to the total. Under 137.5. That's where it's at right now, 137.5. I like the under. Under 137.5. That's my play for this game. I don't have a play on the side, but I do like the under. Yes, I like the under in this game very much. No opinion on the side. Let's see what else is there in this game. Let's look deeper into this. Let's look deeper into this. Yeah, I like the under 137.5 for me. I like that, and I would lean Northwestern 2.5. Now, if you can get Northwestern at 2.5, get them now if you like Northwestern, because the number is moving to 2. So I would take 2.5 Northwestern, shop around and get the 2.5. If not, at most, I'd grab them at -2, but don't go past 2. At the very least, if you can't get them at 2.5, go to get Northwestern at 2. And if you can't get them there, wait till the game goes live and then try and get them then. That's my advice to you for this game. All right, so the next game we're looking at, Rider at Niagara. So the opening line is 5.5, total 135. Current line now is, we're seeing 6s on the board, and it's 134.5. We're seeing some 133s, but mainly right now it's 134.5. So the total is dropping like flies, but the spread is going up to. We're seeing 6s on this up, but the total is dropping. So we'll look into this game further. Rider at Niagara. This is another 12 o'clock start. Head to head, 6-4. Rider has the edge, 5-5 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Rider 1-9 their last 10, 1-9 against the spread, 5-5 to the over/under. Rider has lost, if you can believe it, 9 games in a row. And in those 9 games, you haven't been covering any spreads at all, as a dog or as a favorite. Niagara, and then Rider, they've gone over 4 straight times in the losing streak. They've gone over they've gone over 5-4 to the over in their losing streak. So in the last 10, 5-5. So Niagara, 6-4 last 10, 4-6 against the spread, 4-6 to the under. Niagara has been flip-flopping wins and losses. That's basically what it is. And they're flip-flopping over-unders as well, too. So Niagara is 6.5-point favorites. Boy, this is just... I know Niagara has gone 4 straights. They've covered 4 straight. I mean, they've lost 9 in a row. They're not playing any defense. Obviously, Ryder on this losing streak based on the last 4 games. So my take here, I would lean to the over 134.5. I would take the over. I like the over in this game. Over 134.5. I don't have an opinion on the sides and totals, none whatsoever. Just 134.5 for that game. That's all I like for that game. That's it for that one. Let's see what else they have here. So that's it for that game. Yeah, that's all for the 12 o'clock games. That's it for that. So we're gonna go to the NFL. We have one game to discuss for the NFL. Denver at Buffalo. This is the wild card matchup. The line is open 3.5 Buffalo, total 47.5. Right now, we're looking at 48.5, and the spread has gone all the way to -8. We're seeing a lot of 8s on the board, 8s and 7.5s. So actually, we're seeing right now 7.5. 7.5s are starting to pop up. I do apologize. We're seeing a lot of 7.5s. They're coming back here. So my take on this game, let's look here and see. Let's look at this one here. And I'll give you a prop play for this game as well, too. A prop play, and I'll give you my take on this game as well. We'll do the breakdown here of this one. We'll go into the breakdown for this game. Yes, let's see. There are actually 2 props that I like for this game. 2 props. Now, these 2 teams have played during the regular season. That was, let's look here at the head-to-head. 5-3 Buffalo, 1-7 against the spread Buffalo, 4-4. So the latest meeting was November 13th in Buffalo. Denver was a 7.5-point dog. Denver won the game 24-22. And at that time, the total was 47.5. It was under 47.5. Now for the rematch in Buffalo, I'm going to take the Bills. I think the Bills' exact revenge. I like Buffalo in the revenge spot. I just believe in that game. When they played in that game, they played November 13th. So before then, they came off a game. Let me see here. Sorry, hold on a second. Let me check something. Sorry, this is a year ago. My apologies. Sorry about that. They played a year ago. Sorry about that. I thought it was this year. Sorry, it was a year ago. So again, I like the revenge spot for Buffalo because of the year ago loss. They lost a year ago to these guys. I like the revenge spot. I do like Buffalo here. This is Bo Nix's first playoff game, so this is uncharted territory for him. He's in a different environment. This is not regular season. And he's on the road. This is another thing. He's on the road. He's on the road. That's an issue. You're on the road. Your first playoff game on the road as an underdog, and you're a rookie. So that's gonna be an issue. And I like Buffalo here. They got more experience. They got more experience. They're playing with a bit of moxie, and I like what they're doing here. Denver had to win it against the Chiefs on the last at home to make the playoffs after losing 2 straight games on the road at Cincinnati and at the Chargers. They lost 2 games in a row. They didn't cover the spread in either game. At least they didn't cover the spread. And the Chiefs basically rested practically all their players, basically, or half their players, for Denver to get the win. Let's be honest. So it wasn't any real competition. That's why Denver had a big win. So with all that being said, I like Buffalo here to cover the 7.5. I like him here a lot. As far as the let me look at some other things, and I'm going to give you a prop after. I like 2 props. I like Buffalo in the first half as well. I like Buffalo first half, 5.5. I like Buffalo in the first half, 5.5 and 7.5. I think they cover both angles. Regarding the total, I like under in the first half, under 24.5 first half as well. Under 24.5, you can get that. I like that as well too. So Buffalo to cover the first half, 5.5. Buffalo first half. Buffalo cover the spread, 7.5. I like the under 24.5 first half. As for player props, I have 2 of them here for you. Let me get to that. So these are going to be rushing player props. These are going to be rushing yards. Let me get to that in a moment. Rushing yards, player props. I have 2 of them right here. Let me pull it up. I like Josh Allen over 43.5 rushing yards. Any big game, especially if it's a playoff game, this guy is a baller. He's a baller, and he balls all out. He goes all out. He gains 383 rushing yards on his scrambles, 5th highest in the league. And the Broncos are not accustomed to getting to rushing quarterbacks. That's another disadvantage on their end as to why Josh Allen can clear this number. So I like them there, and I like Bo Nix. Bo Nix over 28.5 rushing yards. Denver doesn't really have a rushing game. Their rushing game basically is Bo Nix. They don't. That's basically their rushing game. Bo Nix is their rushing game. So I like him to go over, especially when they're trailing and they're behind. I look for him to scramble, rush for yards, gain yards when they're behind. So I like both those props. Bo Nix over 28.5, Josh Allen over 43.5 rushing yards. I like both of those props. So if you're playing those props, play them separately. Do two separate bets for those props. For the ones that I mentioned to you, those are 2 good props. I like those a lot. All right, so that's it for the breakdown of the NFL games and the college basketball games, the early slate. I'm going to be coming back here in the afternoon, before 3 p.m. So I'll be back here about between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Eastern time to give you the rest of the breakdowns for the NBA. And that's for the NBA, NHL hockey, and the later games for the NFL and the college basketball games. All right, so we'll be back in the afternoon between 1:30 and 2 p.m. Eastern time. Until then, cash those tickets. Good luck to you. Stay true to yourself. Stay humble. Stay grateful. Peace.